What is going on, guys? It's Jack Wardell here, back with another video, and I'm so sorry that it's not when I'm supposed to be uploading. So to punish myself, this week I've set myself a challenge of eating 30 Subway cookies. This is kind of doubled up as my first challenge, but also my first Q&A, because I believe that there's some of you out there that don't really know too much about me. Some of you obviously know a lot about me, but I just wanted to pose myself a challenge to punish myself for not doing a video sooner, so I'm sorry. So yeah, let's take it away. Right, so what you can't see is that I've actually got all my 30 facts here, so hopefully I get to them all because I've obviously got to eat 30 cookies. I will just preface this by saying that I have eaten Subway before this, so I'm already like quite full, and they are mini as well, by the way. I'm not eating like massive cookies. Hopefully everything's going to go to plan. I'm going to start with some like really like basic ones because yeah, I want ones that kind of everyone knows, and then as I hopefully eat myself into a coma, I'll feel less guilty about telling you stuff that not many people know. Here goes nothing. Snickerdoodle to start, by the way. I can already tell you I'm not going to enjoy this. Time consuming eating as well, that's the problem. This is the most time consuming part, eating them. Right, first one's down the hatch. I'm going to start with a really crappy one. My favourite number is the number 3. It is the number I've worn throughout my whole soccer career. As I said, that's a terrible lead off for the Q&A, but chocolate chip is next, so I'll see you on the other side. Right, so I'm getting sick of these already, and it's only the second one in. The second thing, a little bit about my education and where I've come from. I did all my primary and secondary education back home in England, came over here to America, and I just did 6 years at Seton Hill. I'm now finishing up my MBA. My undergrad was in biology with a minor in psychology, and then in the fall, which a lot of you know, I'm going to be going to Virginia Tech to get a PhD in industrial and organisational psychology. Whew. Right, third one, double chocolate chip. Third fun fact, I don't know if they're fun, they're probably not. Let's pick a better one. I know a little bit of Japanese, and I took this as part of a liberal arts curriculum at my undergraduate university. And for those of you that are calling bull right now, I didn't remember much. I mean, I know little bits like hi is yes, and like depending on what time of day it is, you'll like switch up the phrases. So if I was to say good morning, it'd be ohayo. Yeah, see, I kind of sound Japanese. And then if it's like in the evening, you might say konbanwa or ayasumi nasai, which would be good night. But the one that always stuck in my head, and a couple of you will laugh because you know that I know this one, is how much is that watch over there? And it is ano toke wa ikura desu ka? Although if I ever met someone from Japan, I would probably struggle. So that's number 3. I can't believe I'm 10% of the way in. I don't even know what this one is. This is going to be a surprise. Oh, peanut butter. Right, that's 4 down. And they're not sitting well. Next fun fact, I'm going to keep saying fun fact, and they're not really fun, are they? I am obsessed with giant pandas, and I don't think many of you know this. Some of you from England may, but the Americans amongst you definitely don't. I actually have a collection of stuffed pandas. How embarrassing is that, by the way? I've never thought it was cool, actually. I'm just going to discount that straight off. I have a collection of stuffed pandas, probably talking about 10 to 12 in my bedroom back home. And when I was backpacking around Europe, which I'll talk to you as another one of my facts, I actually got to see a giant panda in real life for the first time. I didn't cry, but I got very emotional. So there's that. Now it looks like we've got a bit of raspberry cheesecake, so straight down the hatch this one goes. I might just start eating them whole, don't I? Another fact, I actually was on a TV show when I was younger. It was called Better Homes, and it was, the presenter was called Carol Vorderman. Vorderman, I think that's right. God, it's been a long time. I was probably only like 8 years old, and the show was like an American, or British version, I would say, of like Fixer Upper. Was it not Fixer Upper? A show where they transform a room in your house to like a really nice one, and they picked our bathroom. And all I remember is staying at Sproston Manor, which is like a really fancy hotel, and there's a pool there. I always remember there's a pool there. We basically got to stay there while they renovated our house, and we still have the bathroom. It still looks, I think, like almost exactly the same as it did when we got it done. 5 down. Oh, 25 to go. Back on the chocolate chip, because I can stomach these a little bit better. So I know I mentioned to you earlier that I backpacked around Europe. That was 2 summers, maybe 3 summers ago. Went backpacking around Europe with my then girlfriend, and we did 16 countries in 21 days. We literally just did a city every single day. It was one of the coolest things I've ever done. I would highly recommend, if any of you out there thinking of going around Europe, traveling at all in your life, please do it. And what I'd also say is do it on the cheap as well. Do it as cheap as you can. I slept on the floor, I hitchhiked across borders, I did some really crazy stuff when you think of it, but it was some of the most coolest stuff I ever did, or I have ever done. Stay in hostels. Don't be tempted. I know it's tempting to stay in hotels, but stay in hostels. That's where you make the greatest friendships. That I still actually keep in contact with a couple of people I met when I was traveling. So that's really cool, and you just get that whole experience when you do that. So highly recommend it. I think that's 7 down. Is it 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 6 down. 7. Snickerdoodle. Cheers. Next thing, favourite song of all time. I've got my favourite band coming next, but favourite song of all time is actually the song that is in my intro. And I absolutely love my intro, mainly because of the song. It is Move On Up by Curtis Mayfield. I believe it was in the 60s or 70s. And where I first heard it was actually in Bend It Like Beckham, which was a movie that, for those of you that haven't watched it, was an Asian young lady who wanted to play football or soccer, and she wasn't allowed. Her parents basically didn't want her to. It really kind of mirrors my journey. Not that my parents ever said that I shouldn't play soccer, but the fact that obviously I followed in, you know, the same footsteps, so to speak, in terms of coming over here and playing soccer. And it's a really good song as well. It's not just that I love the song, it's the meaning behind the song as well. Double chocolate chip. Oh, first burp. Second burp as well, that's not good. That's getting hard already, I'm on you, mate. Alright, next fact about me. I told you my favourite song. My favourite band, on the other hand, I've got 2 that are right up there for me. Top spot is taken by Queen. I absolutely love their music. I think they do fast songs, they do slow songs, they go all over the place with their music, and they make consistently good songs, and they're just classic really, aren't they? But then second, actually I'm going to bring a third one into the mix as well, but second is Coldplay. Just again, they've produced so much music, and I believe that every album has at least got like 3 or 4 really good songs, and to be able to span as long as they have and keep creating great music, that takes some doing. So Coldplay is second, and then third, who I've seen twice live, for me it's Biffy Clyro. For those of you that haven't heard of Biffy Clyro, they're a Scottish rock band, and again they can go quiet, they can go loud, they can go quick, slow, and they really have a great mixture of music, and yeah, they're phenomenal live as well. So those are my top 3. On to number 9. Snickerdoodle, we meet again. Cheers. I think we're 9 in. And I've got to say, I don't feel sick yet. My mouth's getting a bit dry, but I'm all right. Next fact, for those of you that have been in my life, back home definitely, here, if you're longer term that you've known me, you'll definitely know this, but I used to have long hair, and I don't know if I'll put a picture up, if I'll dare put a picture up. It's so embarrassing. I thought I would be so cool to like grow my hair out and like have it in like a headband and like look really cool. It just looked really. I don't know why no one, like nobody told me, like they all just let me get on with it, and I think I don't know whether they all just like collectively, especially my team, I don't know whether they collectively just thought, we're just gonna let him do it, and it looked but, and I grew it all out, and literally I slicked it back, and the problem was, even when I tried to do it nicely, it still didn't look that good. I tried to convince myself that it did, and I kept it for far too long. I think I had it for a whole season actually. It was rightly so that I didn't play much that season. I don't know whether it was my feet or whether it was how bad my haircut was, but my coach wouldn't play me that much. But I learned from my mistake, and I've had short hair ever since, and I will refuse to ever have my hair long again. But that was like part 2 of the long hairedness. Part 1 was when I was actually back home, and only the OGs will know this, is that I actually had long hair, and I didn't slick it back, it just kind of went like really curly, like tight curls. I kind of look like, oh god, burping again, pardon me, that is all, like Dennis the Menace. I don't think you have him over here in the United States, but I look like him. It was just hair, bare bunch, horrible. I don't know which one was worse. They're both atrocious. I remember actually when I was 15, and I should have listened at the time. I was 15 and I was actually representing my county back home playing football. And it was one day, I don't know why we had this, but there was the worst hair competition. Like the worst hair competition, and it was my coaches as well. So Rob McComb, if you ever see this, you instigated this. And basically as a team we had to discuss who had the worst hair. I don't know if this was like a morale boosting thing because I felt like crap afterwards. But anyway, cut long story short, I was the one that was chosen with the worst hair on the team. And to make matters worse, I just thought they were picking fun at me because I was always the butt of the joke in that team. But I probably actually did have the worst hair, but I continued to have my hair like that anyway. And the reason I've probably kept talking is because I don't want to read another one, but here we go, 10. Right, 10 of them, further away and I can do this. Next fact, not really stereotypically male, I love musicals, absolutely love musicals. And my mum brought me up on musicals, I swear every year growing up. She either took us to a local one in Norwich or she took us to one in London, the West End, which is kind of like the Broadway equivalent in London. Yeah, I just love live theatre. I think it's phenomenal that people can perform the way they do. But part of this fact is that my favourite musical of them all is Les Miserables. Let's get this right. I've seen it once in Norwich, I've seen it 2 times at the West End, and I've seen it on Broadway as well. So I've seen it 4 times like professionally, and then I've also seen it a couple of times like some youth amateur stuff, and I absolutely love it. Every time I watch it, I don't cry again, I just get very emotional because it is a really moving storyline. If you've watched it, fantastic. If you haven't, highly recommend it. Ooh, we're changing it up a bit. White chocolate and macadamia. Next thing, I don't think everyone knows this, I'm left-handed and I'm left-footed as well. So I don't know how rare that is because I think only 10% of the population are lefties. Every time you meet someone left-handed, they probably let you know that they're left-handed. It's what us lefty people do. We just like to, you know, let everyone know publicly that we are left-handed. I don't know whether it's like because we're proud that we're part of the minority or what. So there's that. Normal chocolate chip. I tell you what, I don't feel sick yet, but what makes me feel sick is looking and seeing how many I've got left. That's what makes me feel sick. But as it stands, body is in a good place. Ask me that in like 10 more and we'll see. My next, I can't even speak. I'm so concentrated on trying to neck these. I can't even give you my next fact. I can though. Let's go over to my endeavours currently. As you can see, I have my own clothing, which is called Empower. And I say it's my own clothing. I don't like to say it's like a personal endorsement to me. I hate when, I don't hate, but I get it, but I don't really like when people make their own merchandise, and I don't want anyone who is watching this to think that when you buy this clothing, it's for me. I mean, it kind of is, like you're supporting me, which is fantastic, and thank you so much for anyone that has bought it. But I'm really trying to create a brand. I'm not trying to do it for me, I'm trying to do it for the world, because I believe that we're at a breaking point and that we really need to take a stand, and I especially believe that us younger generation are really conscious of what we're doing, and that's how I believe the trend's going to continue. So I want to create a brand where people can stand united to care about the world and people, and that's why we donate 10% to a non-profit of your choice, because you know I care about what you care about, so I want you to, or I want to make sure that the money's donated to something you care about. So that's enough of an Empower plug, because I'm sure sick to death of hearing about that. We are up to oatmeal and raisin though, which is not my favourite cookie, but it doesn't matter, does it? Because I've got to eat it anyway. So without further ado, next, current endeavours. So I have Empower, MBA, graduate assistant job, and then I also have my blog. So for those of you that haven't checked out yet, it's no obligation. This is another plug, I guess. It is whatever. It's another fact about me. I do write. I actually love writing. Yeah, I decided to write my blog because it's a different medium to visual. You know, I can talk to you guys all day long. Some people just like to read stuff. Usually doesn't take as long either to read my things online. The biggest difference I think from what I do on here and what I do on my blog is my blog's very personal. It talks about, you know, a lot of the, not problems, but a lot of the emotional side of me. And if you ever want to get in my head for like 5 minutes, then I would highly recommend, you know, checking that out. It's just an opportunity for me to kind of decompress. You know, I have a lot of stuff going on, as you probably know, and it's just my space to kind of talk it out, writing on a bit of paper, and And that way I don't have to really burden other people with how I'm feeling. You know, I can just write it down, let it go. And then you guys, if you want, can read it and see how I'm feeling. I don't even know what cookie you're up to now, so I'm just gonna say next. I'm sure there'll be like a little cookie counter down there, but until then, I think what we got now? Oh, this is peanut butter, I'll be very upset. And it is. Just when I didn't need it, you know? So we've been going so long now that my camera actually told me to take a time out. It said maximum time shot. And we're gonna bring this one in with, I know I spoke about my education earlier. What a lot of people don't know is that I actually was never going to go for biology. And why I'm talking about this fact is because it wasn't even something similar to biology that I was going to go for. I was actually going to go for English literature. Only people that went sixth form with me probably know this. That was my strongest subject. I just loved it. The biggest thing for me was poetry. I love, you know, trying to draw out, you know, the meaning behind words. You know, the cool thing about poetry for me is that every single word is there for a reason. It's funny actually reflecting on my journey through education. Obviously now I'm doing psychology. And it really wasn't English literature that I enjoyed. It was the psychology of trying to figure out why the author actually picked, or the poet picked those words. But here I am, and I'm about to eat another cookie because I have to. White chocolate macadamia saved my life. So we're at the halfway point, I think. My mouth is like Sahara Desert right now, very dry. Dream job of mine is to be a life coach, and the reason is, as a lot of you know that have followed my channel for a long time now, is that I do want to change the world, and that's through people, and I believe there's a lot of unhappy people right now, and I want to change that. There's that. Enough of me talking, more of me eating cookies, because the quicker I eat them, the quicker I'm done, the quicker we can all go home. Next, while we're on the topic of me wanting to do English literature, I do still write, other than my blog. I actually have a secret, I guess, poetry account on Instagram. Don't even try and find it because you won't. That's just my way of, again, having a literal release that I can just write things down, not care about who sees them, because I know no one that I know can see them. Just something that when I am having doubts or I am feeling a certain way, that I can just let it go and move on. That was a good one, wasn't it? Not many of you knew that. Next thing about me, might be a boring one. I don't have any tattoos or piercings currently, but I do want a tattoo. I want it across my chest. It's just like a tiny thing here, it's just a bit of writing, and it'll say Po Ardua ad Astra. Now if any of you are familiar with my social media, I put it on all of my bios, I think. Reason being, it's Latin for through adversity to the stars. And the reason I have that is just because I believe it's a firm reflection of, you know, my journey. I faced a lot of adversity in my life, I believe anyway. And yeah, I want to head to the stars, so it's a fair reflection of it encapsulates, in my opinion, you know, who I am, where I want to go, where I've been. I actually knew someone, won't name names, who went to a tattoo parlour, saw there was a special one for a particular tattoo, purchased that tattoo just because it was on sale. Macadamia nut again. Right, so something I haven't touched on yet is my family. I have a small family. Back home it's me, my mum, my sister and my brother, so I have two siblings. My brother is, he's gonna kill me for this, 19, I think. And he goes to university currently in England. I hope he's 19. Bargy, I'm so sorry if I got that wrong. And then my sister, she's 21. Again, I think, Connie, I'm sorry if I got that wrong. My sister actually suffers with an illness called myalgic encephalomyelitis. A lot of you are probably familiar with chronic fatigue. It's something a little bit similar in the sense that she unfortunately doesn't have a lot of energy. We believe that it was a virus that unfortunately her body could never get rid of, and as a result she's always in fight or flight. For those scientists out there, always got an adrenaline rush, and as a result a lot of things take a lot of her energy, and she's had that for a long time now. So that's a little bit about my sister, a little bit about my brother. My sister actually has an account, me, myself and Emmy. I'm actually going to put that in the description on Instagram. She's doing fantastically well, and I absolutely love her to bits. She's such an inspiration of mine, just because it takes her so much more than everyone else to get out of bed in the morning, and the fact that she continues to do that, and not just that, but has actually with her Instagram page set up a community of people to help one another through this illness that she's got is absolutely spectacular. So well done, Connie. I absolutely love you. I'm sorry I can't be there at home all the time. Same with you, Barge. I love you to bits, mate, and I will see you very soon in May. Next, raspberry cheesecake. On a similar theme, I know I spoke about my mum briefly, but my biggest inspiration, although my sister's a massive inspiration to me, my mum is my biggest inspiration. She's the reason I get out of bed every day. She's the reason I do what I do. The reason is that she sacrificed a lot for me growing up. She's never been one to have really luxurious things or go on wonderful holidays because she spent all her money on me, my brother and my sister. I try and be as successful as I can so that then hopefully by making her the proudest mum in the world that I can hopefully repay some of that back. And I know, Mum, if you're listening, you always say, you know, I don't need repayment or anything, but I do, because you've given me the life that I have. I actually wouldn't have this camera that I'm shooting this on without you, because you obviously helped me out with that. It's funny because I literally wouldn't be here, because you gave birth to me. I wouldn't be in a position now to go and obtain my PhD with all your, you know, support through college. So you mean the world to me. I love you to bits, and again, I miss you terribly. I'll be seeing you in about a month or so. Next, we've got double chocolate chip. I can deal with it. I can tolerate these. Now, for those of you that don't, I feel there's like superficial knowing me and there's like deep knowing me. If you deep know me, that just sounds off, doesn't it? If you know me very well, then you know I'm a very big nerd. One of the things that I'm a very big nerd about is Pokemon. And I know you're probably like, what? Yeah, I love Pokemon. And I've loved it ever since I grew up. It's something that me and my brother really connected with. You know, we played Pokemon all the time when we grew up on our Game Boys and stuff. Yeah, so anyway, cut long story short, love Pokemon. I actually have a Charizard Pokemon card, which I'll probably put somewhere here, and I have it up in my bedroom. I have it like in a special one of those like folder things. It's the first Charizard card. It's the rarest one. I mean, I haven't got the first edition one, which is worth like stupid money, like $2,000. I think this one's worth like $200 or $300. I just keep it as a memory for me. But I am one of those people that still play Pokemon Go. I am a casual player. I don't play that seriously. I hold my hands up. I do play Pokemon Go, and I'm not ashamed of it. So if you've got a problem with that, well, you know where the door is. Oh, how many have you got left? Oh, we broke the last 10. Alright, here we go. We're gonna stick with the nerd theme. And I think even if you like kinda know me, you know this, I'm a massive Star Wars fan. Like, favourite movies, Want to Be a Jedi, you name it. I had all the little figures when I grew up. I think I still do somewhere. I've watched all the movies countless times. That's something that is a tradition with me and my dad. I actually like go to not every premiere, I obviously miss the ones in the 80s, but when there was the episode 1, 2, 3, 6, no, 7, 8, 9, which will be the last one, we would have a tradition of going to the premiere of that, so that's really cool. I don't know, it's been a consistent player in my life, so I find great comfort in Star Wars, I guess, but also I just love sci-fi. I'm a nerd at heart, so for me it's like something that I really enjoy. And my favourite Star Wars is episode 6 with the Ewoks. It just does things to me. Obviously non-sexual. Snickerdoodle. I don't know why I had to disclose that it was non-sexual, but yeah. Right, next thing. Not really nerdy. I really like Disney. And it makes a nice segue from Star Wars, because obviously Disney has since acquired Star Wars, but I love Disney movies. And I love Disney in general. For those of you that have followed me right from the start, well, not even right from the start, I guess it would have been, God, how many months ago was that now? Wow, I'm not even going to try and count. Let's just say 6 months ago, but it's probably more. I went on vacation with my family. Yeah, anyway, not a long time ago, but a long time ago. I went on vacation with my family to Disney. Feel free to check out my vlogs of that. I absolutely loved vlogging that experience. I frequently watched my own videos. How sad is that? But it really just captured those family memories. Some of my highest times have been at Disney, so as a result, I always associate Disney with really positive things in my life. We're getting there. White chocolate macadamia. And actually, I'm feeling okay. I'm not doing too bad right now, so we'll see. There's a chocolate chip as well. I'll pick that. It's like I can taste the chemicals in the cookies now. Anyway, favourite Disney movie. We're talking about Disney and all things Disney. Obviously, since the acquisition, I would have to say Star Wars movie. Traditional, semi-traditional Disney movies, including Pixar. I'm gonna be very cliche here. Actually, I've got a cliche one and I've got a not so cliche one, and then I've got my favourite song. So my not so cliche one, first of all, is Lilo and Stitch. Now, some of you may jump on me here and say that is quite cliche. That's not, because I don't think a lot of people would naturally go Lilo and Stitch. But I love Stitch. I actually have, oh my gosh, so embarrassing. I have a pin collection, right? So if any of you have been to Disney, you know there's like pins. I have a massive pin collection. I have like a whole page dedicated to all the different Stitches that I've like accrued over the times I've been. Like cliche one is Toy Story. First time I ever cried during a movie was Toy Story 3 when they were going into the furnace. So there you go. And what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, favourite Disney song, I think is, I don't know what the actual title is, but like I Will Go the Distance from Hercules. Shout out to anyone that knows that one because it is a banger. Right, back to Snickerdoodle. So, talk about Disney. I'm trying to speed this up. Talking Disney, got to talk about Marvel, love Marvel. Off the back of that, you know, scraping the barrel, so to speak, for questions. But one of the ones that did occur to me is what would my superpower be? My superpower would be healing. You know, basically the second coming of Jesus. I'm sorry if I offended anyone that's religious. That is how I envision it. So we're down to the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm about to eat a peanut butter one to get the last peanut butter one out of here because they are rank. Sorry, Subway. For any of you that might have seen, my eyes just like kind of left my body, my soul just. Oh, right, this one I think a lot of people will laugh at, just because apparently I tell everyone, even though I still believe one person here will not know this. I actually broke both my legs. Yeah, cheers. I know that you know this already, but some people don't. And I just thought I'd tell people because it doesn't happen to everyone. So I won't dwell on them because everyone takes the that I tell everyone. So yeah, guys, I broke both my legs. I know I tell everyone, eat it up. And yeah, for those of you that don't know, there you go. That's something that you don't know. Right, raspberry cheesecake. Next. It's starting to hit me just like a tiny bit. So if anyone that may be interested in what my research is going to be in as a PhD doctoral candidate, a lot of my research currently has been in self-motivation within academics, but I want to apply that to an occupational setting. I'm going to work with someone called Scott Geller. He has a TED Talk. How cool is that? That's one of my dreams as well, is to have my own TED Talk, but he has one, and it is on self-motivation. He's who is going to be taking me under his wing come the fall. Another freakish part of me, no mum, not in the bedroom, is that I don't actually have, or do have attached, it makes me look like an alien a little bit. So next time you see me, you can have a good old look. I mean, I am an alien. I'm currently residing in a foreign country, 3 left. I feel slightly sick, but I'm alright. Oh no, I've just spotted another peanut butter. Talked a little bit about my family, more about my friends. My teammates are kind of like my family away from home. Absolutely love you boys, if any of you are watching this, by the way. That includes any of the boys that graduated above me, which is a lot of people now, because I've been at Seton Hill for what seems like my whole life. I have 3 main best mates, one of which is Mitch Eager, who I always say is like my American version of me. Like, I've never met someone so similar in his drive and things like that. I have Fraser, good lad, who's currently studying to be a lawyer out in Atlanta, so he's a big baller now. He's my kind of words of wisdom guy if I ever need like a real neutral opinion on something. He's never biased, and I always told him that I was admired of him. So he's my second best mate, and then my third best mate is unfortunately back home in England, but he has been to see me twice. So again, I'm just so thankful and grateful that he's been able to do that, and that is Ewan Jax. We've been friends for as long as, I mean, we weren't friends throughout our whole childhood. I think we were like 13 or 14, but honestly, whenever I'm back there, we're inseparable. Thank you, Ewan, for coming over. Mitch, Fraser, love you both ever so much as well. Do I eat the peanut butter one first, or do I eat it last? We're gonna go with the macadamia first. I'm gonna end on a cliffhanger with the horrible peanut butter one. I like penultimate one. I do DJ, a lot of you know this, but I do DJ. DJ Wicked is my stage name. I know a lot of you make fun of me for it, but I actually kind of like the name. I think it's kind of cool. If not, I'm like the most uncool person ever. Whatever. It's just a shame really, because at Seton Hill, there's not a massive presence of people that like EDM, so I can't really show off and like mix, so to speak. So a lot of the house parties that I DJ at, I just basically act as a human Spotify. I mean, I'll like crossfade and stuff. It's just annoying really, because people probably look at me and go, oh, he doesn't even know what he's doing. Like, he's literally just playing a playlist and just flicking between them. But I actually do know a lot. I got taught by a DJ over last summer. One of my mum's ex-boyfriends. I say that like she's had like loads of boyfriends. Sorry, mum. The last cookie, which is the peanut butter one, Last but not least, my next endeavour, as a lot of you know, I'm trying to be a jack of all trades. I want to produce music. That's something that has always interested me. I've always wanted to have a go at it. That is it. Thank you ever so much for enduring that. I'm hoping it wasn't as painful for you as it was for me eating all 30 of these bloody cookies. I don't want to tip it too much because but that is empty. Shout out to Subway. They didn't sponsor the video, I just thought I'd give them a shout out. If you enjoyed this video and you think I should do another challenge, put it in the comments. If you thought this was crap and you never want to see anything like this again, put it in the comments. Feel free to subscribe. I really appreciate anyone that's subscribed so far. Honestly, it means a lot to me. It means a hell of a lot to me. It keeps me motivated to do this week in, week out. So thank you so much. And I will see you when I'm not bloated.